Having a pre-break snack. How's everybody doing tonight? Hopefully everybody's good. I feel like I've got a couple exciting-ish things to share with everybody. So we'll wait till we get started and get things rolling. Hey, Bill, how's it going? Better now that the Steelers will have a new head coach. Man, it's hard to... I know a lot of people wanted him gone, and, you know, I'm sitting here as a Browns fan. I sit here as a Browns fan and look at the Steelers, you know, and kind of what's going on with Tomlin, although it sounds like Tomlin's leaving on his own accord. But, man, I think, man, I don't know if the Steelers know how good they got it. Because, it can be real rough in some other shoes. So, I mean, you know, the fact that I look at is they all say, well, Mike Tomlin's lost the last 7 playoff games he's been in or whatever. But I'm watching the game last night thinking, man, it doesn't matter what Mike Tomlin does, that offensive line is just atrocious. You know? So, anyway, if the Browns, Ravens, and Steelers all... Yeah, we've talked about that in our house, Scott. We talked about that in our house, that, you know, we could end up with... What if we end up with Tomlin and the Browns and Harbaugh ends up with the Steelers and yeah, that whole revolving door in the AFC North. That could be a trip. So, all right. Well, here is our owner list for tonight. And I think JJ paid already. But still missing James Ward, Zach Brenner, Brian Kessler, Jake Triska. And I'll just as a reminder, when you guys claim your spots, if you know you're done, just go ahead and pay then. It sure makes my life a lot easier. I had somebody from Sunday's break that just paid about 2 or 3 hours ago. No, it was earlier this morning actually, but he hadn't paid until I made a post calling him out, and then of course he's like, "Well, can you take your post down now?" Well, yeah, man. Pay for your break. So I don't want to be chasing people around for, cards and this stuff should be, if you got the extra funds to play, then go for it. If you don't, that's okay. Still hang out with us and watch, talk cards, play the next time, So 9 teams looking for yeah, that's just wild. That's wild to me. But the Browns are already talking about, there's already leaks coming from Cleveland about how they think Deshaun Watson could still play. I don't know what brain trust in Cleveland still thinks that, but it's hopeless until they get rid of the people that believe Deshaun Watson's going to be productive in any capacity. So that's what we've got in Cleveland. All right, here's our duck race. We're looking for the top 3. The only person I'm missing on this is Dave, as far as payments. So good luck to everybody. Yeah. We need 28 spots. Yeah, I think they should start Sanders. And they should draft people to build around him. We got Sanders, where they've got Quinshawn Judkins. They got Harold Fannin Jr. They've got some decent players. Draft some more linemen. Draft some more receivers. Get you a little bit more help on D. And go. So, all right. Good luck, everybody. Maybe. Boy, 8 took off and then just, threw a parachute out. I don't know who I'm going to root for, Scott, but I think I'm probably going to have to root for the Patriots now. I hate to say that, as an ex-Jets fan. But I got to root for Vrabel to get it done. So Duck 15 takes the win. 15 is going to be James Holland. Duck 1 is second place. That's also James Holland. Let's see if James can pull off the trifecta with Duck 8. Duck 8 is not James Holland. It's Philip Mancini. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. So, James, it's the first and second place groups. Philip Mancini gets the third place group. All right. Done with the tablet. And let's get this party started. Good luck to everybody. I'm going to try to remember all the things that I wanted to to mention to you guys, because I had several things. First and foremost, probably the thing I'm most excited about today, if you didn't see my post, you'll have to go in the group and scroll down a little bit and you'll see it. I finally bought some shelves and cleaned out a closet, and I've now got a card storage closet that was so long overdue, years overdue. And so I'm, one of those things where you're just feeling excited about the little things like having shelves. I'm excited about that. It's going to help. Let me put you guys down a bit. It's going to help me stay more organized. It's going to help me be a little bit more efficient, I hope. And so anyway, like I said, I'm super thrilled about having shelves today. Again, the most random thing, but super tickled with it. 93/01/99 blue Kurt Busch. Oh, and then we got a nice Danica checkered flag. That's going to go to Will Blackman. I forgot to mention Denny Hamlin as a house spot. He was going to go in the filler, and I just decided to house him. Nice Danica. Let's put Danica up there for a bit. Let everybody look at Danica for a while. So anyhow, shelves and storage space is something I'm super pumped about today. We have, so in the immediate future tomorrow, Orange Prizm Butterbean. It's going to go to Paul. Nice one, Paul. 59 out of 125. Yeah, Cliff Daniels is a great leader. So tomorrow I will be making posts for our fantasy racing contests. For anybody that's interested, there will be two different options, or you can play in both. I know there's several people already that have told me they want to do both, but there'll be two options that I'll post about tomorrow. One will be the traditional Nascar app where you have to change your lineup every week and you kind of have to babysit it. The other one is going to be more hand points, and it's going to be a situation where you're going to pick 5 drivers out of some groups that I've put together, and you basically set it and forget it. You'll pick 5 drivers, and that'll be it. Chase Elliott, 105 of 299. Goes to Paul. I guess we haven't done a break since the news yesterday either, have we? So we got all kinds of things to talk about tonight. But as it relates to fantasy racing, our points format for the fantasy racing, where you just pick one time and then you don't have to fuss with it the rest of the year, that points format will basically follow the Cup points. Meaning a first place win will get you 55, second place will get you 40, and so on down. The way I've got it a little bit different because 40th place gets 0. If you finish last, you don't get any points. 31 of 149, Haley Deegan, green scope. Going to Kurt. And then there's only 2 other little caveats to the way I'm going to do our points for the fantasy racing, where you just pick it and leave it. The first is if you get a pole, if your driver gets a pole, you get a point. Just 1 point for a pole. And then the second is there's going to be 3 races where you get double points. I don't have those for sure locked in, but I'm thinking they're going to be like, something like Southern 500, Brickyard 400, Coke 600. like 3 of the kind of crown jewel-ish events. So, red Corey Day, 51 of 249. Like what? Yeah. Silver Kyle Busch. Yeah, I mean, I want Indiana to win at this point, you know, so. But yeah, fantasy stuff will be posted tomorrow, and really, money isn't due until the Saturday, the day before the 500. So you basically got a month to save up. It'll be $15 for the pick one time version, and it'll be $35 for the weekly app version. 119 of 199 Dale Jr. Blue, going to Tanner Hicks. And of course, the prizes will be, you know, different things, different boxes or cards or whatever, but it'll depend on how many people play. I can't say, oh, the prize is this until I know this is how many people we got, you know. 28 and 99, Justin Allgaier, purple, going to Michael Clay. Auto set in the throat. Yeah, that would have been cool, Scott. I agree. Or do an auto set within one of the inserts, like a Groovy or Pot of Gold. Groovy would be cool if they could have done an auto within Groovy. That would have been kind of cool. Silver Pulsar, Jimmy Johnson. Going to Dale. So before I go into the other stuff that I wanted to mention, how are you guys feeling about the chase? 81 of 299. I will say that the one thing I want to say about the chase announcement and just the way everything unfolded yesterday. One thing I really do want to say, and I mean it, is I really think Steve O'Donnell is a good leader. I like the way he talks about the sport, the fans, the teams. I like what Steve O'Donnell's about. So I'm kind of glad. I'm not kind of glad. I'm really glad that he's at the helm right now. And I hope he continues to stay, you know, in the forefront of everything, because I really like him. I think he's a good leader. Red Josh Williams, going to JR, 91 of 249. There we go. Patented penmanship, Kyle Busch. That's going to go to Dave Blazovich. $11 of 49, Kyle Busch. Yeah, it sounds like Junior thinks Ben Kennedy's going to get more and more involved too. I guess I'm really not familiar with Ben Kennedy at all, to be quite honest. He's a name that sort of has been thrown out a lot here in the last week or two from what I, hear, and I'm just not as familiar with him. But I will say I think NASCAR got it right. This is just me sharing my thoughts, not trying to push my opinions on you guys either. But I do think NASCAR got it right. I think what Mark Martin said is correct, that this is they went as far as they could without going all the way to a full season points format, which is what I think not everybody, but a lot of people wanted. But I understand that it's more complicated than just poof, here's what we're doing now. 7 out of 175 for Ben Rhodes. He is unlisted, and we'll go to Dave. Dave. Silver Blaney, part of the France family. Okay. So yeah, I just I think there's a lot of good things happening. Between I'm starting to see some commercials that remind me more of what we like to see in our world. The commercial with oh, what's his name? That lives in Tampa. I don't know why I can't think of his name now, but I know you guys know who I'm talking about. Kyle Busch, orange, 92 of 125. Going back to Dave Blazevich. But they got the Hell Yeah commercial going. They changed the format, which is a help. I think getting rid of Steve Phelps is a help. I think there's a lot of things that are moving in a positive direction. Sensational signatures, Eric Jones, blue, 15 of 49. Eric Jones went through the filler and goes to James Holland. I think it's incredibly positive that they've got a lot of people involved in the decision-making processes with some of this stuff. From Dale Jr., Mark Martin, the drivers themselves, the manufacturers, the team owners. They're listening to everybody. Yeah. Todd, you're right. I agree. I can remember when, I can remember a time when there were NASCAR stores. And you could get anything under the sun at those places. Like, I remember the one that we used to go to all the time. You could get everything. They had cards. They had die casts. Of course, they had all kinds of T-shirts and hats and, keychains and cups and coolers and seat cushions and blankets and you name it. Rajah Caruth going to William Steele. So yeah, getting NASCAR merchandise out there would be a huge help in stores somewhere. Walmart. I mean, I'm not a fan of Walmart, but that would be the place I'd go after. Is try to get a partnership with them. To sell. It would be a win-win. But I saw the thing that they're doing with the Justice brand, which if you're not familiar with Justice is a clothing line for kind of younger girls that are probably I'd say in the like 7, 8 age range to 12, 13 range. But again, I like that they're trying to get families involved, kids involved. We got some gold coming in hot. Dale Jr. red. Going to Tanner Hicks. Missed for race fans only on QV. Oh, Scott, absolutely, buddy. I can tell you right now, that's how I bought 1996 Upper Deck. Was it Quest for the Cup or Chase for the Cup or something like that? But man, I agree 100%. I'm with you. We got a Riley Herbst Mojo. That's going to go to Jake. This is Jake's first break with us, so welcome to the group, Jake. 14/25 for the Herbst. And then, oh, nice. How about a pot of gold? That's cool. Casey Kane. Man, that baby is clean. Going to Dale. 7/10. Dale's not big into grading, but I'll tell you what, if I had that bad boy would be going to PSA with our next submission, because that is nice. Congrats, Dale. Really nice hit. A gold, pot of gold. Good start. Should have one more auto coming, hopefully. There it is. Joey Gaze. Red Scripts. Joey Gaze will go to Dave Colasar. And we got the blue Corey Heim. Going to Christopher Couch. You know, the one thing that I will say about, I think there's a lot of positive, and I hope everybody else feels that way, because I can feel it. Out of 199, I just feel, you know, to me, it feels like there's a lot of positive energy around the sport right now, around NASCAR. And I hope that I'm not just feeling that because I'm naive or something. I hope everybody else is kind of feeling the same way. Groovy Tony B. And that's going to be the end of box one. But, you know, with the potential momentum that NASCAR could try to start to build again, you know, and it's not something that's going to happen overnight. I think it happens slowly. I mean, that's the only way it's going to happen, basically. But, you know, if you start seeing some slow progress through the course of the year, that's going to be an exciting indication. But I think as the sport continues to build or build back better, however you want to look at it, make NASCAR great again, whatever, you know, like. But I think as momentum starts to build, we may start to see more collectors in our NASCAR card world. And so, you know, for a lot of collections that are out there, I wonder if that's going to help improve or increase some values of some of these collections that a lot of people have, you know, over the course of the next few years. If NASCAR can continue to build, you know, they're kind of saying all the right things. Now they got to do all the right things, you know, like, I guess that's kind of what I'm thinking. I think I'm just going to turn that light off that's above. It's the one that keeps glaring. I'm just going to turn it off. Oh, I need some penny sleeves too. Hold up. Hopefully if it made it too dark for you guys, let me know. But it was glaring pretty bad. And I think we might just go without it if it's not bothering you guys. But it's my overhead light that glares. Silver Pulsar Dale Jr. Going to Tanner, 78/299. Yeah, you know, the interesting thing I saw, Scott said we may look back and say the lawsuit may have been great for the sport. One thing I saw on Twitter today, on X, was somebody made a post that said the three men who may have really made a gigantic shift in NASCAR someday down the road, when we look back on this time, the three guys that may have really impacted NASCAR the most could be three guys that haven't won a championship in Dale Jr., Mark Martin, and Denny Hamlin. But three incredibly influential voices in the rooms. And, yeah. I can't disagree, that's for sure. 10 of 75, Josh Williams going to JR. Pot of gold, Corey Heim, red. Going to Christopher Couch. 25 of 99. So the couple other things I wanted to mention to you guys, and then we can talk, I'm good to chit-chat, I'll talk all night, but we can get on to whatever you guys want. But the other couple things I wanted to mention to you guys as we pull this Scripps Natalie Decker autograph for Will Blackman. The schedule coming up for this week for breaks, next break is Thursday night, and that's going to be a mixer. A 5-box mixer. So 2 boxes Prizm, 2 boxes Select, 1 box National Treasures. So that should be a pretty nice little mixer. And then Friday we'll do a lunch break, and the lunch break will be Prizm as well. Just a single box of Prizm. Sunday, though, the bigger thing that I wanted to get out is Sunday we will do a full case break of Prizm. Full case of Prizm on Sunday. Austin Dillon, 195 of 249. Red, going to Michael Clay. And I know some of you guys are thinking, well, Mike, there's NFL games on Sunday. You're right. I've got the break. I'm planning on posting it at 2:30, which is about a half hour before the games start. And my hope is that we can fill the break, and we'll do the break after that second game. I think the second game starts at 6, so it should end around 9:30. And so that's my hope, is that we'll be able to have it filled and do the break about when the second game ends Sunday evening. Groovy Willie B. That's your birthday? Sunday's your birthday? Oh, nice. Well, happy early birthday, Philip, in case I forget. Blue, Denny Hamlin. So, again, that was one of the main things I wanted to get out, was that we're going to do a Prizm case break on Sunday at 2:30. The other main thing that I wanted to mention, and then, like I said, we can get on whatever you guys want, is next Sunday. So a week from Sunday, I'll plan a full case break of Prizm blasters. I'm going to have a whole blaster case, and we'll do that break the following Sunday. So 2 Sundays in a row, we're going to do full case of Prizm. This Sunday will be hobby. Next Sunday, blasters. We got another Mojo Riley Herbst. 24 of 25. You're not seeing double. That's crazy. What are the odds? Well, with Panini, they're pretty good. Going to Jake. $66. Any famous drivers with that number? 66. What number did Martin drive in Busch? Was it 60 or 66? I think it was 60, wasn't it? I don't know, 66. Red Power, Joey Logano goes to Nicholas. Lake Speed, there you go. 106 or 175. Dick Trickle. Yeah, oh yeah, there you go. Dick Trickle's one. DW. Oh, yep, DW. There's some good names that drove the 66. Austin Hill, silver. When you guys, so I'm curious about this points thing, just to hear some opinions or theories. When you look ahead at this season and the new chase format, do you think that benefits any certain drivers, or do you think it hurts any certain drivers compared to the playoff format? 129 of 299, Connor Mozak. I have one driver specifically in mind that I think it greatly benefits. And I have for sure one driver in mind that I think it greatly is a bigger disadvantage to. But I'm curious what other people think. Green Scope Larson going to William Steele out of 149. SVG is going to be hurting. Yeah, SVG is the one that I think it's going to impact quite negatively. I think we can probably all agree on that. Even though he improved a lot on ovals, if you look at where he was in actual points, I'll tell you who I think it really could benefit, though. I think the new format could benefit Brad Keselowski. I really do. I think Keselowski could be one that could really benefit from going back to consistency paying off. Andres Perez, blue. Going to Dave Colasar out of 199. And I guess as a bonus, I'd throw maybe Buescher in there too, even. Silver Briscoe. Helps Chase the most because he is consistent. Can't find any holes in the BK thing. Yeah. Yeah, Logano's consistent too. Yeah, for sure. I'm just looking at like who's been super successful over the last couple years. Orange Bowman out of 125 going to Dale. I will tell you, this is just me sharing my thought. I love that they gave the winner of each race 55 points. Because that was the flaw in the old point system, in my opinion, is, you know, consistency was the key. Everybody was fine. There was a lot of people that were fine with running top 5, top 10. And you used to hear a lot of interviews, well, we had a good points day. And they kind of talked about that yesterday. But, you know, with having 15 extra points to win a race, you got to be racing for the win. So, you know, a driver that if a driver can win, you know, if a Hamlin or a Larson or a Briscoe or a Bell, somebody along those lines can win 4 or 5 races and then just be consistent in the top 10, they're going to be really difficult to deal with. 133 of 299, Eric Jones. Silver Pulsar goes to James Holland. Silver Custer. You know, that's part of why they went to the playoff win and you're in, is because they wanted more emphasis on winning. But I think this points, you know, the way they're doing the points solves that problem. I think it still adds emphasis to winning. I don't know. If you can't tell, I'm pretty excited about this year. I think there's a lot to look forward to. There's a lot to be excited about. 113 of 249, Ryan Blaney, red, going to Tanner Hicks. Another nice auto. Sensational Signatures, William Byron. I've seen his name mentioned by a couple of folks now, and I feel like a lot of people are going to think Byron has got to be a real contender with how consistent he can be. Willie B goes to William Steele. Let's swap him out for Kyle just to change up the scenery back there. I've played fantasy football. How does the racing factor in selecting and how many drivers in your line? So to give an explanation on the fantasy racing, so the traditional way is done through the NASCAR app, and each week you have to pick 5 drivers, and you can only use those drivers 10 times. And then I'm betting the way that they're going to format it is you'll only be able to use, once they go to the chase, you'll only be able to use a driver 5 times. So you can only get 15 uses out of any single driver all year. So you got to kind of pick and choose, you know, who you're using when and what tracks and all that. And, you know, and you earn points based off of who you play or who you put in your lineup. 44-199 on Zane Smith for Cody. So that's the traditional format. That's the one that's done through the app where you got to change your lineup every week. The other one, essentially, you're gonna pick 5 drivers. And I guess to dive deeper into how I'm doing that, I made driver groups, and what I did is I think it was the top 7 from last year's point standings, and I put them in a group. And then I took the next 7, and the next 7, and the next 7. And those are groups. You have to pick one driver from each of those groups. And then of the all the other drivers that are out there, you'll have to pick one more driver that's not in a group. And that's it. You won't have to do anything. You won't have to change any lineups. You won't have to pick new drivers or anything. That's it. Your guys are your guys for the whole year. A plate track in your whole... Exactly, Scott. Exactly. I did better this year than I've ever done in fantasy racing, and probably one of the biggest tickets to that is remembering to set your lineup. Sawalich Silver Pulsar, because I was like top 3, top 4 all year, and there was one week I forgot, and that just crushed me. And I could never recover. So, Jeff Bodine, Silver Scripts. But it is fun. It does give you, just like fantasy racing, it does give you something else to kind of follow along with. Bodine goes to Dave Colasar. Now that's interesting. There's like a piece of... I don't know what that is. It was in there with the card. Yeah. Yeah, if you can remember to set your lineup, you're probably going to be in good shape for the. You're going to be at least competitive, you know. So, but that's why I'm doing two different ones, because I'm aware that there's some people that just don't want to do that. I mean, I enjoy it. Even if I forget, I still enjoy it. But the other manner, or the other option is why it's there. 22 of 249. Red Alan Kowicki goes to Steve. Silver Brent Cruz. Harvick Groovy. And that ends box 2. I'm going to go ahead and open another pack of top loaders because I think we're going to need them. How is DNFs going to affect point? Well, I think for this year, I think that's going to, somebody else already mentioned it. I think that's going to be the thing is you can't have DNFs because that's going to that's going to really cripple. So say I pick Kyle Larson from the top 7 group, you can also select him as well. Yeah, Corey. Yeah, there could be somebody that has, you could, I guess technically you could end up with the exact same lineup. There'll be a tiebreaker that we're going to have to use. And the way I decided I was going to deal with that is if it looks like there's a chance of a tie as we're coming down the wire, then for the last race, anybody that could potentially be in a tie, we're going to have them pick, like a side lineup, in case in case we need a tiebreaker. But yeah, you and I could have the same drivers essentially. I mean, we don't want to do that, but we could. Orange Davey Allison going to Michael John Pierce out of 125. And we got our third Mojo, Chase Briscoe. Man, that's a nice looking card. Briscoe goes to Troy. Our PSA submission deadline is Thursday. That's 3 out of 25 on Briscoe. If anybody hits something in tonight's break or Thursday's break, and you want to send it to PSA, let me know, and we can do that. If you had stuff you wanted to ship, if you haven't shipped them yet, you're probably not going to make it. Matter of fact, you're not going to make it unless you overnight them. And then the next submission will be due February 27th, so the end of February. February's a short month, so it's going to feel like it's kind of a quick turnaround. And then we'll get back to our monthly submissions. Silver Pulsar Raja Karuth goes to William Steele. 97 of 299. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see when you start looking at it. It'll be interesting to see who picks who. Victory Lane, Josh Berry, and then we'll have a for the kind of the hands-off fantasy league. I'll create a group chat on Messenger, and of course anybody that wants to mute it or whatever can. But that every Monday after the race, I'll send a message with an updated point standings through there, so everybody's up to date on what's going on. William Sawalich goes to Troy, 88 of 249. Green Scope Mark Martin belongs to Zach Brenner. I'm curious with how involved Mark's been with this whole process. I wonder if there's a little bit of a bump in popularity of Mark's cards. 98 of 149. And I watched the Dale Jr. download today, and in Dale Jr.'s show, he did say that if NASCAR asked him to be the commissioner for NASCAR, that he would do it. And then he sort of realized he stuck his foot in his mouth, and he goes, well, I'd have to check with Amy first, but I would do it. He goes, it would be a yes from me. So 186 of 199, Corey Heim, blue, goes to Christopher Cow. So if you're NASCAR and you hear Dale Jr. say, I would do it if asked, is this a point where NASCAR says, hey, but again, I would add that I think Dale Jr. is a brilliant mind when it comes to motorsports and NASCAR and the history of the sport and what's good for racing and what's good for fans and all that. But as far as the business side, man, his sister Kelly she's the one. I almost feel like if they were going to do something, they would need to have Kelly involved too, like. Todd Gilliland, 66 of 299. Todd's in the filler and goes to Philip Mancini. Purple Justin Allgaier belongs to Michael Clay. Todd said he would have been on the phone ASAP. Out of 99, going to Mike. Get Smoke in there too as an advisor. Yeah. Well, I think it shows. I think Tony Stewart running a truck is an indicator of what's happening in the sport, because Tony Stewart is not a NASCAR guy. You know what I mean? Like, he has been very vocal. 175 of 249 on the red Briscoe going to Troy. So for Tony Stewart to come back, and I realize he's gonna drive a Ram, and he's got a sponsorship with Dodge, and all of those things are in play. But the fact that Tony's gonna do it tells me that there's a change happening. So. Yeah, I agree, Scott. That's kind of my thing is, you heard what we all saw or heard what Steve Phelps said in text messages. You know, what was some of his conversations with some of those Hall of Fame drivers like, and what was he saying or doing that maybe pushed some people away, or I don't know. Kyle Busch, 49 of 175, going to Dave. Boy, for autographs, this has been a really good break. Sensational Signatures Red, Kevin Harvick. That's going to go to John Boyles. It's a nice color match to his Hunt Brothers suit, too. That is 11 out of 99 for Kevin Harvick. Blaney does have the mustache working, doesn't he? He's got that. He got it going. Well, Steve Phelps. Here's what I'll say. You guys know me. I've said it many times. I try not to be negative about any certain drivers or anything. Because for one, why be super negative about anybody? There's kind of no point. And two, me being a breaker, wouldn't that really just rub you the wrong way if I was sitting here talking just nasty about your favorite driver? Like, you'd get tired of that really fast. So 123 or 125. So, I guess my thinking is for the most part, if you don't have anything nice to say about somebody, just don't say anything. There's a NASCAR driver that I do not like. And I've said this many, many times, but nobody has been able to figure out who it is yet, because I try to keep that to myself. Just because I don't like somebody doesn't mean that I need to put that out there, for anybody else. The back of this Corey Day card just caught my eye. I want to show you guys. If you can see the light on the back of this card, it's got several spots where it's like 4 different spots where it's got roller spots, pressure marks. Hate Brandon. No, it's not Brandon. Silver Jimmy Johnson Pulsar going to Dale. 212 of 299. Tanner Gray Sensational Signatures goes to Brian Kessler. Spoiler, he's told us he was a Gordon fan to throw us off the set. I was definitely a Gordon fan. You can message my mom and ask her. No, I don't have. I mean, I like to kid about Tinkle. Tinkle's probably the only one that I've been, negative about, I guess. And I try to keep that lighthearted because I really don't mean any disrespect. Carson Hocevar red going to Steve Teskey, 44 249. I wonder if Hocevar benefits from this format. He had a lot of speed. Now he had a lot of incidents too, so he's got to maybe clean up a couple things. But just because he didn't win any races doesn't mean he wasn't consistent, or at least fast. William Byron blue. Going to William Steele. Brayton Lassiter, yeah. 92 of 199. Scott Brayton, he's expressed some interest in cards, and he's actually joined our group. I don't know if he's watched any breaks or done anything, but I know he's at the Chili Bowl racing. But I've seen him open some blasters and different things, and I think he's learning his way. I saw him going through some cards that he posted on Instagram, and he missed a artist proof out of 25 out of a Donruss box. Like he thought it was just a base card. So I commented and I said, hey, you need to go back. That there was an artist proof in there that's short printed. So 12 of 49, Brennan Poole, Carolina blue. Goes to Dave Colasar. And then Victory Lane blue, Kyle Larson. Going to William Steele. I mean, obviously we're going to have cards of his because he was signing stickers. 25 of 49. And I do think it's cool. He signed some, I guess he's really into pizza, or there's a thing with pizza, because I saw he's got a helmet that's got pizza on it. I'm not sure what the whole thing is there. But I did see that he drew a slice of pizza on a couple of his autos and some little different drawings and inscriptions, and I think that's really cool. Oh, we got more gold inbound. This one might be an autograph too. Josh Balicki. Gold sensational signatures. 9 out of 10 for Balicki. And that's going to go to Dave Colasar. Well done, Dave. Second gold of the night. We'll take that. We do like some golds around here. I'm not trying to completely blind you guys, so I'm going to turn him a little bit. Red Power, Joey Logano. Going to Nicholas. 90 out of 175. Again, shipping is included. If you hit an autograph or if you happen to hit a color blast, shipping is included. Otherwise, we'll hold on to them and we'll wait till you hit something that you get shipping on, or until you're ready to pay for shipping that makes sense. All right, fourth and final box. Chase Elliott Cup Champions Gold Auto. Oh, nice, Sarah. That's awesome. Congrats. That's a good one for sure. Empty box. I saw my LCS. Of course, they told me about it too, but they sold a box of Prizm a couple days ago and had a Jeff Gordon. I think it was a Jeff Gordon red auto. Anyway, it was a Jeff Gordon autograph. Thought of Paul right away. Oh, yeah. Paul's a big Chase fan. Especially if it's the Hooters. Paul specifically, I mean, he's a Chase collector no matter what, I think. But he is even a bigger fan of the Hooters stuff. 229 out of 299. Silver Pulsar, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Ricky goes through the filler to Philip Mancini. Silver Daniel Dye. We got a red Shane Van... No, not Shane. I saw the WeatherTech and thought it was SVG. Connor Zilic, my bad. I saw WeatherTech and just immediately went to SVG. Connor Zilic going to Chris Bonnet to 249. I guess I got to remember there's another sheriff in town wearing WeatherTech. Purple Alex Bowman. It's a bit of a color match to his ally suit, too. Going to Dale. 51/99. There's Shane. Ask and you shall receive, right? WeatherTech pull. Oh, I heard that, actually. But I heard they had several other sponsors ready to step in, so I don't know if... I'm not sure if they're really losing anything. I don't know. It's hard to know what to believe with what you hear, you know? Cody Ware, 47/175, Red Power, going to Dave. We'll have... Dave said, although with Panini, we'll have WeatherTech picks on cards for the next 10 years. True that. True that. Corey Day. Silver Pulsar. Going to Christopher Couch. 206/299. And then we got the silver Hocevar. Victory Lane, Jesse Love. Orange, Kyle Busch. 125/125. Going to Dave Blazevich. It's been a decent break for Kyle Busch. Carolina Blue, Matt Kenseth. Going to JR. 28/49. Then we got Pot of Gold Noah. On the twos, no kidding. There's, speaking of Zamora, Scripps. Brittany Zamora. Going to Will Blackman. Nice one, Will. And then a red Connor Zilic. We'll get his name right this time. Going to Chris Bonnet. 155 of 249. Green Scope Todd Gilliland. That's going to go to Philip Mancini. 99 out of 149. Bubba. All right, we're halfway there. Danica Patrick, blue. Belongs to Will Blackman. 51 out of 199. Silver Jake. BK Potter Gold. Red Power, Richard Petty. Going to Glenn. Ooh, there you go. 43 out of 175. How about a door number for the King? That'll work. Richard Petty door number for Glenn. We like that. Wish they would do picks for the girls like WNBA does travel outfits. Well, the girls don't dress like that though. Even when they're coming and going, I don't think they dress like that in NASCAR for the most part. But if you got a card you want made with a certain picture, Todd, I can always make it. I've made quite a few of those in the past that are along the lines of what you're talking about. Blue Sensational Signatures, Raja Caruth, 40 of 49. Going to William Steele. It's been a good night for autos, though, overall. Silver Pulsar, Chase Elliott. It's going to go to Paul. $283 of $299. Austin Beers, silver. Amber. Yeah, and hers wasn't even that, what's the word? Risque or whatever. Sarah's committed to finding some Brian Deegan color. I like it, Sarah. I like it. We got red Willie B. Going to William Steele. 160 of 249. And then silver Sensational Signatures, Chandler Smith. He went through the filler and goes to James Holland. A gold Petty. Two to go. Cole Custer, blue. Going to Bill Tabor. $137 of $199. Silver, Kenny Wallace, the Herminator. All right, last pack. Ooh, the pack is all mangled too. Maybe this is going to be a good one, being mangled like that. We got some orange. Corey Day. Going to Christopher Couch. $31 out of $125. Then we got checkered flag A.J. Allmendinger. Going to Dave Colasar in the unlisted spot. Again, just as a reminder, next break will be Thursday night at 7:30. 6 out of 75. And it'll be a 5-box mixer. National Treasures, 2 boxes of Prizm, 2 boxes of Select. Blue, Bubba. Bubba in the filler, going to James. 17 of 49. And that is pretty much going to be it for this one. Overall, that was a pretty good break. Like I said, some really good autos. We got 2 golds, 3 mojos, a door number. All right, let me hit you guys with a recap. Again, appreciate everybody's support, everybody who participated, helped with the fillers, and everybody who just hung out with us, even if you weren't in. Appreciate everybody. So we had the door number, Red Power, Richard Petty. That was a nice little surprise. Mojo, Chase Briscoe. And then a pair of Mojo, Riley Herbst. Interestingly enough. 24 and 14 were the serial numbers on those. I was wondering if they were in succession or not. They're not. And then our autographs looked like this. Chandler Smith, Raja Caruth, blue. Brittany Zamora. Red, Kevin Harvick. Tanner Gray. Silver, William Byron. Scripps silver, Jeff Bodine. Blue patented penmanship, Kyle Busch. Silver Scripps, Natalie Decker. Red, Joey Gaze. And a blue sensational signatures, Eric Jones. And then the 2 golds, we had the pot of gold, Casey Kane, which as a Casey collector is probably my favorite. And then the gold sensational signatures, Josh Bilicki auto. So congrats to everybody who received hits. As I said, shipping will be included for all the autographs in the break. So if you hit an auto, your stuff will be shipped. I see no reason why these won't be shipped tomorrow. They should be making their way to you very soon. Again, if you had stuff that maybe if you hit something tonight or if you hit something Thursday and you want to send it to PSA, you can let me know. Otherwise, the PSA cutoff will be Thursday, and we'll get that submission sent on out to California. So, again, thanks to everybody who participated. Appreciate the support, and hope everybody has a great rest of your night. We will see you guys next time.